Here I am doing my washing, and I'm actually very happy because I have a wonderful washer. And all you have to do is put in your dirty clothes, put in some soap, and push a button, and voila, you're done. And every time I think of how my mother used to have to do the washing, clear up until the time we came to America, how hard she had to work. And I feel so very blessed. Although we lived in a fairly large town, we had no electricity or hot water in the house. And the only way we could get hot water was by buying it from the water stoker, who lived just around the corner. At the beginning of the 20th century, there were hundreds of water stokers in our town. Especially in worker districts, people depended on him for their hot water. Nowadays, it is normal that warm water comes from the tap for bath, shower, and the washing machine. In the past, however, things were very different. We went to the water stoker to buy water for the weekly bath. You could buy it in buckets or wooden kegs. The buckets you could carry home. The wooden barrels, however, were mostly transported by bicycle or wheelbarrow. Monday was an especially busy day at the water stokerij because that was wash day. The water stoker had to get up very early to make sure that the water was hot on time. Some of them advertised that their water was ready before the cock crowed. In the Rotterdam address book of 1934-35, there were more than 625 water stokers. With the appearance of geysers, boilers, etc. in the houses, the water stoker disappeared at the end of the 1950s. The water stoker also sold soaps and kindling for the stove, coffee, tea, and some hardware. But most important to us as children was the snoeptafel, covered with a glass lid where we could choose all kinds of candy for 1 penny. Zoethout, cinnamon pillows, raspberry drops, licorice, more licorice. Licorice is very popular in the Netherlands. Now, back to washing. This is not my mother, but she looks so much like her, it's unbelievable. Mother used to do the washing on the back porch, but there were places in town where the houses were pretty small and didn't have a place to do the washing, so the women all got together on the street. The water stoker would deliver the water to them. The soap we used for the wash was manufactured right in our hometown in the Sunlight Soap Factory. I can't remember where the soap factory was, but it was close to this area. See the bollards on the left side between the light posts? We used to leapfrog over them all the way along the harbor. Sometime in grade school, our class went on an excursion to the factory. Excursions were given all day long to all kinds of groups. Here is a picture of the Relief Society ladies in our branch and their friends going on a tour of the factory. There were more non-members than members, and some missionaries. Here is my mother, my Aunt Anna, my Aunt Adriana, and Margaret van Luik. She came with us to America. After the clothes went through the wringer, they had to be hung up to dry, and when you live in a country where it rains a lot, that becomes a problem. Most of the time we had to dry the clothes in the house, part of them in the living room and the rest in the attic. I remember one day when our doctor came to see one of my sisters. When one of us was sick, our mother usually put us in the cupboard or alcove bed in the living room. Now our bedstay wasn't nearly as pretty as this one. When Dr. Jacobson came in and saw the clothes hanging in the room, he said, "I didn't know that today was Flag Day." Monday was wash day, Tuesday was ironing day. Since we had no electricity, our irons were heated on the stove, and while we used one iron until it had become not warm enough to do any good, the other iron was getting ready. I have no idea why pillow slips and sheets had to be ironed, but that's how it was. I kind of like to iron, and I was allowed to iron dish towels and pillow slips. And eventually someone gave my mother a mangle, which she used to iron pillow slips and sheets. And some of her friends would come over every week to use the mangle for their sheets.
And now I believe you will understand why I don't mind doing my washing and ironing. Because to me it is a blessing and not a tedious chore.